Veterans Alternative, a groundbreaking organization dedicated to serving veterans experiencing triggers related to combat and/or military sexual trauma through a resiliency and strength-based program utilizing proven alternative therapies. Christopher was born in Tampa, Florida, and joined the Oklahoma National Guard while still in high school at age 17. He transferred to the Florida Armory National Guard in 2001. Christopher was deployed most of 2004, helping victims of Hurricanes Charlie, Ivan, and Jean. He was then deployed to Afghanistan for Operation Enduring Freedom for 2005-2006. While there, he served as a transportation non-commissioned officer in charge of Forward Operating Base Lightning. He accomplished complex missions utilizing multiple teams. He drove a total of 38 combat convoy missions over 6,400 miles through some of the roughest and most hostile terrain in Afghanistan. Upon returning home, Christopher received a bachelor's degree in public policy administration cum laude. He is now in his second year of law school at Stetson University College of Law. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Christopher Blaine.
Thank you. Let me first say what an absolute honor it is to have been asked to be here today. I would like to thank Meadowlawn for hosting the event, and I would like to thank all of you for coming out to honor those servicemen and women who made the ultimate sacrifice in the name of the United States of America. I want to give a special thank you to the Gold Star families. The strength you show by being here today is inspiring, and I know I speak for all combat veterans in thanking you as personal representatives of those who can no longer join us, as their sacrifice allowed us to come home to our families. And for that, we are forever grateful. I'd like to start today by giving a brief history of Memorial Day. May 5th, 1868, General John Logan, National Commander of the Grand Army of the Republic, said in his General Order 11, the 30th day of May is designated for the purpose of strewing with flowers or otherwise decorating the graves of comrades who died in defense of their country during the late rebellion, and whose bodies now lie in almost every city, village, and hamlet churchyard in the land. This he proclaimed as Decoration Day. While this day was to recognize Civil War veterans, that idea was changed after World War I to honor service members who died in all American wars. While the origin of where exactly this holiday was formed is still controversial, Waterloo, New York was officially declared the birthplace of Memorial Day by President Lyndon Johnson on May of 1966. While it is important to understand the history of this day and to understand that each war since the Revolutionary War was built on the one before it in the name of freedom and democracy, I would like to take the remainder of my time to talk about Memorial Day in the present era and what our duties are to those who made the ultimate sacrifice. Memorial Day today is full of what seems to be traditions. Beaches, boats, and barbecues are the things to do on this weekend, and it's a great time for families to gather and share in each other's love. This is what it should be about. Please take advantage of well-deserved long weekends, but in so doing, I submit to you a couple of caveats. Firstly, before that barbecue, boat ride, or beach picnic, gather your friends and family and remind one another that this day is possible because of the men and women that sacrificed their lives for our beautiful country. And when you do this, be sure that the totality of that statement truly sets in. Recognize that some families are no longer as whole as they once were because their loved ones died for our benefit. And while making that reflection, realize that the service member was just like someone in your family, a brother or sister, a mother or father, a son or a daughter. Undoubtedly, a person that was loved and cherished very much. That is the sacrifice we talk about on Memorial Day. Also, this weekend and beyond, be careful in the way that you address this holiday. Understand that telling some people Happy Memorial Day may not set well with them, as happy is not the adjective used to describe their feelings. have a blessed Memorial Day or a thankful Memorial Day could be appropriate. And to my comrades that do get upset by the phrase Happy Memorial Day, remember that is a term of endearment and that the average person doesn't understand our heartaches, which is okay, because we fought so that everyone doesn't have to understand that. The most important thing to take home with you today is that the sacrifices made by the bravest men and women this world has to offer should not just be remembered on one weekend of the year. The sacrifices our veterans have made to this country should be remembered 365 days a year in each and everything we do, because without these sacrifices, none of our lives as we know them would exist. With all of that in mind, I would like to move now to what our duties are to those brave men and women who are no longer with us. In combat, there are two major motivating factors on the battlefield: pride in your country and protecting your comrades fighting next to you. When a service member dies in combat, it was a sacrifice to their country and a sacrifice to that person next to them who was shielded from that shrapnel or that bullet or that fire. There's no better definition of a hero than one who sacrifices their own well-being for the safety of someone else. Now, we have a major problem in this country. Some of you know and some of you don't, but we are currently losing 22 veterans a day to suicide. I want to make it very clear that just because you've left the battlefield doesn't mean that the battlefield has left you. In fact, in most cases it does not. This loss of life once home is completely unacceptable. This is not just this year's statistical numbers. This has been going on since early 2000. The brave men and women who died on the battlefield protecting their colleagues would roll over in their graves knowing that the same life they died protecting was eventually lost once back home in America. Now, I want everyone to realize this isn't the veterans' fault. Those individuals are still fighting a war inside themselves. This is our fault as a nation. We have failed those who have silently ensured our safety year after year, and we must do better. The problem is that we have legislators who can't pass legislation, we have bureaucrats that compare VA hospital lines to those of an amusement park, and we have big-name employers that wave American flags claiming to support veterans while not showing that support through employment. This all-talk and no-action behavior is deplorable and will not be tolerated. These people need to do their jobs, or I promise we will send some highly skilled, government-trained folks who will do it for them. I know a few. The reality is that society has put veterans in a box. I see the jobs that come out from the service groups for veterans, and almost all of them are labor-related. I've heard several times that military skills do not transfer into civilian skills, and of course the biggest job killer of them all, the misinformation about post-traumatic stress. You see, my friends at the Veterans Alternative have a different phrase. It's called post-traumatic growth. Humans actually grow from their life experiences, and when veterans are given the proper tools they need to succeed, the stars are the absolute limit. We must continue to create transition centers like the Veterans Alternative and keep employers informed about the countless benefits of hiring veterans. Those who have died in wars past and present fought for two things: their country and their brothers and sisters in arms. Not taking care of either of those two things is a direct slap in the face to all of those who made the ultimate sacrifice. America has fought for many reasons: independence, identity, to stop tyranny, and to spread democracy across the world. The worldview of America has been declining, and the treatment of American veterans is obscene. We are capable of amazing things in this country if we could stop bickering and start compromising. All of our country's biggest problems are overrepresented by the veteran community. If we want to ensure that a veteran never goes homeless again, let's end homelessness. Studies all across the country show that it's cheaper to house the homeless than to leave them in the street. If we want to stop losing veterans to drug overdoses, let's put the lid on the pharmaceutical companies and end the completely failed war on drugs. It is now globally known that the war on drugs has caused more harm than good. If we want to keep our veterans out of jails and prisons, let's fix our shattered justice system. Although America only has 5% of the world's population, we host 25% of the world's prison population. We can do better.
Amen.
We need to honor our fallen heroes by ensuring what they died for is properly taken care of. Our country and those who fought next to them. They have already done the hard part by making the ultimate sacrifice. Now it is up to us to do the rest. God bless America and God bless all of you. Thank you.